A sentiment I got growing up and while at my J word was that video games rot your brain, yet we still have parents willing to buy them, likely to shut their kids up, but also we have games that are categorically impactful to the art form and their players. So then, can we really say the statement is true? In this one, I'll stand my ground and say no, but also show how they can have negative influences. In a rather scary sounding way, games can control our behavior through a lot of different small pieces running together, whether it's to polish your visual and audio effects that make things satisfying to do, or by rewards and progression. The most basic of learning is reward based. You get a little something for doing the right thing, and you get punished for doing otherwise. So you're conditioned through reward and punishment. In my video on game loops, this is touched on, and it's pretty apparent from personal experience and from your experience probably. It's rewarding to learn and to earn while playing a game. An easy example for people who play games is Pokemon. The type advantage is the surface level stuff. A child can easily learn the typing advantages and disadvantages. X type is effective or not very effective, dealing less or more damage to a Pokemon, whether it's theirs or their opponents. And they might eventually learn to use more useful moves to change up the scenario in their favor. So, increase special attack or whatever. Or they just end up slapping 4 attack moves, calling it a day. So despite the recent middling quality of their entries, there's some points to engage critical thinking for their younger and older player bases. Recently, and rather ironically, I've been playing Palworld, and learning to build and automate a base has been fun. I've been going mostly blind and making the base. It's taught me management skills for both pals and resources. In being able to make multiple bases, a network of resources can be built by very savvy players. And not really to make a massive stretch, but the technical skill that's on display in these simulation games and base building games might just be the same that otherwise would be studied in textbooks and real life examples. So satisfactory with all of those cards and different automating systems. But since it's gamified, someone like me, or anyone else really, with the right interest and effort can learn these skills. In the same vein, a Roblox game can teach players to save and invest in bigger upgrades. Despite being slop, there are little things to get from it. It's very basic in tying playtime to progression, likely for data to signal boost their game on their homepage. But there's one fatal flaw with Roblox games that make them popular but harmful. Some of them, well, most of them rather, are mini casinos, removing a vast majority of conditioning that we just talked about in favor of chance-based gimmicks, spinning wheels, refreshing shops, catch rates that are super rare for fish, the list goes on. Rather than rewarding and punishing, it's just rewards by chance, and if you'd like another shot, right then and there, you can pay for it. Or if you just want the thing right now, you could just buy it. This kind of thing fries dopamine receptors and not only ruins the art of making an experience in a game, but also just the enjoyment as a whole. Rather than little bits, you get the whole thing if you're lucky, causing kids to be in and out of games within minutes, or the opposite, where you get nothing and you get bored and you just leave. You don't experience the rest of the game. And on top of that, it also ruins a child's relationship with money. Robux is thrown around in small amounts over and over, and they won't notice until they've run out of it. And all of it just for a chance of something to happen, or to grief a lobby. In this case, yeah, video games are terrible for people's brains. Getting a little more vague, games can offer a lens to navigate heavier topics, whether directly or subtly. Something like Nier Automata has a lot to say about posthumanism and nihilism. Sayonara Wild Hearts is a game about grief and overcoming heartbreak. Horror games, much like horror films, use thematic and visual analogs to explore abuse and human nature. Uniquely with games, since they cannot progress without the player's input, it makes horror games more impactful. And so the concepts and topics are condensed into a form that more people can experience and take away. And much like those skills mentioned earlier, the interactive form of games allows for an exploration of these topics for more people, either overtly or subtly. Horror uniquely falls into the middle of this discussion, as depending on the age of the player, it can be harmful. Mentioning Roblox again, it's in a position where, on its platform, there are loads and loads of horror games that aren't appropriate for younger players, though not exactly as harmful as the other games that ruin other parts of their lives. It's harmful as in it's too early to expose them to that kind of content. Things like mascot horror has contributed to the issue. Despite the horror being toned down, still the themes within those games shouldn't really be exposed to a younger audience. Mechanical or not, the kind of things that you see in those games aren't appropriate, whether it's it's little robots, it's still gore, so of course we're not meant to show it to kids. For a more personal perspective, games are held so close to me because of my own childhood. I learned quite a lot from games that I otherwise would have been taught to me had the circumstances been better. An example being Persona 4 Golden, as cringy as that kind of sounds. It holds a special place with me, as I didn't exactly have the most normal high school years. Being able to live out a mildly accurate high school life and experience characters' coming-of-age stories was something I personally needed. In this instance, it was an experience I could have only gotten through games, and it's probably why this video even exists in the first place. My own opinions on the topic are influenced by Persona 4 Golden, and even wider. I mean, I hope to make a game myself that has the same impact. So then, you might be wondering if it's worth the chance, as an individual and maybe even as a parent. To which I think, yeah. We've all watched something we weren't supposed to. Some kid shows from my childhood had some pretty dark stuff in it. There is an origin point for everything, and the way I see it, games are a really great, active way to critically engage and learn. Whereas a movie, video, sometimes lesson or lecture can even be too passive to teach something to someone. After however long the last sections were, what's really the point? Of course, the phrase video games rot your brain is a catch-all term for parents and non-gamers to push down the hobby. Yet, there is a valid discussion there. Honestly, I think it's a very old-timey understanding, but we can all see that it has some potential. Now, are teachers going to be replaced with games? Is your workplace training going to be replaced with games? Not really, I don't think so. But there are game elements that can be added to learning. Gamification is already something that companies are investing in to make training more effective and engaging. I mean, even lectures are also taking that in. And it's already within our consuming lifestyle in loyalty cards and little punch cards. Basically a point system to get you to continue spending at a vendor, come back for a small reward. It's an avenue that me and others like myself could be working in. It wouldn't surprise me if some kind of game variant of training was put in place for workplaces. Maybe not a digital game, but something to engage with critically, rather than just retention and memory, to train with a low risk, but also a high opportunity to learn. So to still think that games are 1, purely for fun, and 2, reductive is a bit ignorant. So then being more informed about the games you're passing on, if you're going to be handing them over to anybody, or just the ones that you're playing in general, is the best median. Of course, some games can just be for fun, but that can also be a front for very predatory games and very inappropriate games for different audiences. Especially those Roblox games with all those predatory mechanics and gambling, and even those horror games that look seemingly okay on the front. It's really important to be critical and also open-minded about the games that you are playing and handing off to somebody, but also to understand to mediate that as well, as sometimes it's not that deep. And for all you and I know, this video is basically moot because the sentiment could die and games are just going to be something that's quite normal. I hope.